Every morning, a timeless ritual unfolds in the homes of millions of Central Americans. Wood is gathered and a fire is started to cook the first meal of the day. But this simple act causes far-reaching harm to both people and the environment. Around the world, more than 2 billion people rely on wood and other biomass fuel for cooking and heating. Cooking is commonly done over an open fire, where up to 90% of the wood's energy is wasted. The demand for firewood puts grave pressures on countries where deforestation is already severe. But perhaps most devastating, the smoke from these open fires kills an estimated 1.6 million women and children every year and sickens millions more. According to the World Bank, indoor air pollution is the #1 killer of children under 5. But today, those dangers will become a thing of the past for Maria, whose friends and neighbors are building her a new kind of stove, a stove that uses much less wood and doesn't fill the kitchen with deadly smoke. When Hurricane Mitch struck Central America in 1998, thousands perished in landslides triggered by massive amounts of rain falling on the deforested countryside. This tragedy was the genesis of a unique project by nonprofit organization Trees, Water, and People, combining replanting trees and introducing fuel-efficient stoves to reduce the demand for firewood.
One of the things figures I was meditating on one day was the fact that 10 trees are being cut for every 1 tree that was being replanted in Central America. It's like playing soccer and getting beat 10-1 every week. You have to do something to change your game plan. That's why the fuel-efficient stoves, adding those to our project, have been so important. This way we can reduce the demand for fuel wood, because the stoves save up to 70% on fuel wood, and in this way save for us.
Engineers from the Aprovecho Research Center worked with Trees, Water, and People to design a stove to replace the open cooking fires used by most Central American women. The result, created in collaboration with project advisor Doña Justo Núñez, is essentially an insulated masonry box incorporating the rocket elbow created by Aprovecho's Larry Winiarski. This L-shaped combustion chamber forces firewood to burn up to 70% more efficiently than in an open fire. And though the project began as a way to tackle deforestation, it quickly became obvious that the fuel-efficient stoves would have a huge health impact because of one simple element: a chimney.
About 1 million children and 600,000 women die each year from indoor air pollution caused by cooking or heating stoves. So our stoves, by having the chimney, get the toxic smoke out of the kitchen.
From its beginning in Honduras, the fuel-efficient stove has been successfully introduced into El Salvador, Guatemala, and Nicaragua. Adaptation has been central to this success.
We decided from the very beginning to use locally available materials. So when we introduce the stove into a new country, we have to take those things into account, right? Adapting it to the local foods and the local cooking customs, and searching out local materials.
Another adaptation was to develop a factory-built stove in Nicaragua. Led by partner organization Proleña, 5,000 of these metal eco-stoves have been manufactured and sold since 2000. These portable, mass-produced stoves work on the same principle as the masonry Justo stove, as Marling Butrago of Proleña demonstrates.
Bueno, la cocina, este es el modelo que nosotros recomendamos para hacer tortillas. Personas que hacen aproximadamente de 300 a 400 tortillas al día. Pega en este disco. Esto es un disco que se coloca para reforzar y que no se pueda oxidar rápidamente la plancha, la original. Entonces se la llama pega, y luego todos los gases circulan alrededor de la plancha y salen por esta cavidad que es la que sale con un tubo de chimenea hacia el exterior.
Out of those 5,000, about 30% of the stoves were, sold to women, mainly in Managua, the capital city. And there's many women who make tortillas as a living, and the eco-stoves really helps them out because it, as I say, saves 70% on firewood, and this is money that is then extra income for them.
Pero yo creo que sí, le ha servido de bastante ayuda porque antes se cocinaba con gas y usted sabe, el gas cuesta ahorita 112 Córdoba y dilataba nomás 3, a veces 2 días. Entonces, ella ha visto pues de que con 4 o 5 manojitos se palmea todo el día. ¿Ves? Y entonces la leña es un poco más barata y ella pues compra la leña por bastante. No, ya mire pues no hace humo. Teníamos otra cocina que hacía demasiado humo,
While good technology and sound program design are important to the fuel-efficient stove project, people are the most crucial ingredient. One way people have become involved is through the many partnerships Trees, Water, and People has formed over the years.
One of the strengths of our project, our stove projects, is that we have a large partnership base. And the project from the very beginning, when Stuart Conway sent down Aprovecha engineers, Larry Winiarski, Michael Hatfield, and Peter Scott down to Honduras, they partnered with International Rotary, and then with us, Trees, Water, People, with our partner organization in Honduras, ADESA, and then also with the community.
It's very much grassroots, participatory type of process that we use.
So it's really amazing. In El Salvador, for example, we have Peace Corps. We're trying to start a new Peace Corps project where we fund 1 or 2 or 3 Peace Corps volunteers to do some stoves in their community. In Honduras, we're having talks with some government agencies that want to do it on a much larger scale to disperse the Justa stove. In Nicaragua, we've had great success. Our partner down there, Prolenia, has had great success partnering with government agencies, other NGOs, regional, local, or international NGOs to do stove projects. So the real partnership aspect of the stove project has been really impressive, and because of that we've been able to disperse the technology very quickly, but also in a sustainable manner.
Perhaps the most important people in the fuel-efficient stove project are the women themselves, both as beneficiaries and as ambassadors who bring the stoves into new communities.
What we did in El Salvador is we trained women how to build the stove, which was really breaking the mold down there.
In a small village on the south coast of Guatemala, Doña Silvia is learning how to build the stoves.
¿Usted ayuda con las otras mujeres, o sea?
Sea de que yo ando colaborando ahí con Leonel, los ando ayudando lo que yo pueda para ver si llego a aprender yo también a hacer estufas.
Ah, sí.
Sí.
¿Ya aprendió?
Poco a poco tiene que...
Aprendiendo todos los días cómo hacerlo.
Sí, así es.
Y vienen otras mujeres a ver.
Sí,
a ver
vienen.
la estufa. Ajá.
Las vienen a ver para ver cómo es la función de las estufas y así piden ellas. Porque ahorita hay bastantes que han estado pidiendo.
To help train a woman that can't read a tape measure, and the first day how to read a tape measure, and then 3 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, when she can build a whole stove very confidently. Where the first week they're saying, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. Well, they can do it. They just have to believe in themselves. And it's something that was for me very gratifying when I was down there in El Salvador.
We also do, of course, training to promote the stove. Once there's some interest, we'll invite a group of women to a training on why the stoves are save on firewood, the economic benefits, the health benefits of the stove. Once the stove is built, we also do follow-up, say a month later, 6 months later, to make sure that the stoves are being used well, that the women are maintaining them, to troubleshoot any problems they might be having with the stoves. And that follow-up is really key to the success of the project.
The importance of having the knowledge in the community or in the country is we're not here to do projects all over the place. We're here to help train people so it's more self-sufficient and sustaining. We want them to be able to go off with this knowledge that they have acquired and then go off and train other people. So that's the way the project spread, the stove technology spreads.
Today is the day that Maria's new stove will be built.
Aquí estamos en Comunidad San Juan La Noria, una colonia que se llama Prados de San Juan. Aproximadamente en esta colonia vamos realizando unas 15 estufas. Aquí tenemos la colaboración de algunos voluntarios, como en el caso de doña Silvia, que está colaborando con nosotros acá en la colonia. Ella es vecina de la colonia y en la casa de ella hemos realizado las demostraciones sobre el uso y el manejo de la estufa y su mantenimiento. Y todas las señoras están contentas y están utilizándolas.
¿Y le gusta?
Ah, sí, me gusta.
Sí. ¿Qué es la diferencia entre este y usaron todo el fogón tradicional antes, verdad?
Ah, pues aquí hay bastante diferencia, ¿va? Porque uno gasta menos leña, no anda uno ahí llorando con el humo.
Ajá, sí.
Ajá, porque cuando uno junta fuego así, es una gran mazón que...
¿Sale humo?
No, ¿aquí?
¿Sí?
No, todo sale para allá. Ajá, todo sale. Y lo bonito es que otro día todavía hay brasas. No lo le echo, ¿sí? Sí, no lo le echo.
¿Estás contenta?
Sí, yo estoy contenta. Sí.
A new stove, a few dollars worth of bricks, mortar, and metal will change Maria's life instantly. No longer breathing the smoke from her open cooking fire, her health will improve. By needing less wood to cook her family meals, she will save money and time. And because the stoves decrease the demand for firewood, trees planted now in Central America can grow once again into forests.
To date, we've built 10,000 improved stoves all over Central America. Every stove benefits about 5 people in the family. So that's 50,000 people who've benefited from our stoves over the last 5 years. So they're saving money, they're saving time, and of course the health benefits, getting that smoke out of the kitchen and not breathing the toxic smoke.
You can look on the roof tiles underneath them, and you can just see almost like icicles of soot hanging down. It's so bad. And just imagine what their lungs look like. And now with the chimney, that there's no more smoke in the kitchen. It's amazing. That's the very first thing that women say is, no more smoke.
It is this three-pronged emphasis on health, economics, and the environment that makes Trees, Water, and People's fuel-efficient stove project unique and provides a solid foundation for the future.
That's great. We've built 10,000 stoves in the last 5 years, but the need is for millions of stoves in Central America alone. Our goals in Central America are to try and get it out to 1 million families over the next 10 years.
It's really amazing in the change of environment in their lives. I mean, they're no longer breathing that smoke. Their kitchens are so much cleaner. It's a much healthier environment. So that is, I mean, probably the biggest issue. The biggest thing I want people to know is how much it changes people's lives.
I think people are interested in funding the stoves because it's such a direct connection. Families up here helping families down in Central America. People helping people. That's what our project's all about. And which is why we included people in our name, Trees, Water, and People.